The Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says senators will vote on a bill coming up on Wednesday to create a law that would protect abortion rights. But as we reported here yesterday, it has virtually no chance to pass. Republicans say they're debating doing the opposite. GOP Senator Joni Ernst says they're discussing whether they should try to pass nationwide abortion restrictions. That's if they take control of Congress in the midterms. The action on Capitol Hill comes after that leaked draft opinion showed the Supreme Court's ready to overturn Roe v. Wade. Anti-abortion groups across the country are already pushing to ban medication abortions. During a medication abortion, a woman typically takes 2 pills rather than having a medical procedure. Medication abortions have recently become the most common type of abortion in America. That's according to the Guttmacher Institute. It's a research and policy group aimed at advancing sexual and reproductive health rights. CNBC senior science and health correspondent Meg Terrell now on the push to restrict abortion by pills.
In September of last year, Texas put into effect Senate Bill 8, which banned most abortions after about 6 weeks of pregnancy. When the law took effect, requests from people in the state for medication abortion to a service called Aid Access spiked from less than 50 per day to more than 250. Dr. Abigail Aiken, who led that study, says this is likely to happen on a broader scale if Roe v. Wade is overturned.
As we see more and more abortion restrictions come onto the scene, as we see policy shocks like Senate Bill 8, we see increases in the number of people who are using that method of self-care to self-manage their own abortions.
Medication abortion has been available in the U.S. since 2000, when the FDA cleared a drug called mifepristone. It's now part of a regimen of 2 drugs approved for abortion in the first 10 weeks of pregnancy. Amid the COVID pandemic, the FDA started allowing the drugs to be provided via telemedicine, leading to a dramatic expansion in online providers. But states have been cracking down. Now 19 have policies that restrict telehealth for medication abortion. Many U.S. providers only do so in states that allow it. Aid Access is based outside the U.S., and though the FDA sent in a warning letter in 2019, it hasn't stopped providing the pills. Now, a key legal question centers around enforcement. Most laws against abortion currently target providers. But what if the provider is out of state or in another country?
It's a long-standing line of those who promote anti-abortion policies that they don't punish the patient. But if enforcement becomes particularly challenging, I wonder if it's the patient you have to target in order to enforce laws that ban abortion pills.
Anti-abortion groups have called restricting access to medication abortion a key priority. One group, the Susan B. Anthony List, told us the ability to access these drugs through telemedicine is a, quote, reckless push to feather the pockets of the abortion industry. Meanwhile, Aid Access and other providers of medication abortion have told reporters that inquiries have spiked this week. Shaq?
And Meg, on COVID tonight, this is new. The FDA announced strict limits on the J&J vaccine after all this time. Why?
Yeah, so remember last year there was that pause in the use of the vaccine as they investigated these rare reports of blood clots associated with the vaccine. Well, the FDA says it's done an updated analysis of how common those blood clots are, and while they're still very rare, about 3 per million doses administered of this vaccine, they said that was enough to limit the use of the vaccine. Now they're saying folks should only get it if they would otherwise not get vaccinated at all for COVID, or if maybe they had an allergic reaction or something that makes it inappropriate to get an mRNA vaccine. We did reach out to J&J on this. They said safety is their #1 priority, and they're working with collaborating health authorities around the world to ensure that they're fully informed about the reports of this rare clot so that they can be treated appropriately. And they say that this is still going to play a crucial role in the global fight to end the pandemic.